comeback win of the season, 2-1. Panarin scores. Lafreniere scores in overtime. 15th comeback win. Rangers needed it, man. They were down 1-0 going in the third. They got a goal at the end of the third period. I almost said quarter, and they get the win. Yes, Jose has joined us today. And hey, that's all you can ask for. You know, you come back, home game after a long All-Star break, and you got to get that win. You got to get it. And they get it. Yes, Josh, let's go. And they did. And I was very excited. I was very happy. And it put me in a good mood last night. It put me in a very good mood last night. And I was like, all right, you know, this is pretty good. Jonathan Quick, first assist as a Ranger on the game-winning goal. Quick, 11 wins this season. They've gotten 15 points in those games, which seems like that's not a lot of points. That's what he said last night. 11 wins with him. If a win is 3 points, well, I mean, okay, you know, but they've won, he's won 2 in a row quick, and yeah, I mean, they were tied for 5th in the league coming in, and they got the win last night. I was very happy about that, and yeah, so I was watching that. Is Igor in trouble? I don't know if Igor's in trouble there, Jose, but I would say that it was a very good night, and we take it for what it is. We take every game, but I'll tell you, they have not looked good this season. Josh, I got my J's messed up. And Josh would, I think, concur with me that they have not played good hockey. They've been very uneven the last over 20 games, almost 25 games. And, you know, Quick came in. I mean, they picked him up. He was more down than up the last couple seasons. And, you know, hey, I'm not going to jump the gun on this because it's one goddamn game, but we are going Monday night. The Rangers playing next. Because I know the Knicks are playing, and no OG playing for his 5th straight game. And I just sent something to Josh, Aaron, and Rob. Oh, wait, and it is concert. It is concert, Aaron. Because I just found out a new little twist the other night that Aaron's a real music guy. So he is concert Aaron. And I just wanted to get that out there and say, you know, yeah. Yes, good afternoon there, Rob, too. And thank God they got off a good start. But I sent him something that the Knicks nixed a trade for Grimes to Dallas, but there was no other info. And I just saw it and immediately, you know, sent it to the guys. I didn't read it. I'm rushing to get stuff, you know, because I was like, you know, Michigan's coming home, but I think she's working a little late today, so I think I have a little more time. And if I have a little more time, then I can do a show. And I was like, let me just get going because I have too much information in my head as it is. And I was like, let me get a show going. So, yes, we're going Monday night. I was checking. The Knicks are playing the Grizz tonight. And, you know, listen, talked about the Laker game. I watched the end of the Laker game. They went 7 minutes without scoring in the 4th quarter. But I'm a little concerned that OG's out for 5 games. Aaron says Tommy John surgery. And I said to the guys, what do you think? Could it be a problem where it's his shooting hand? And if it's his elbow, it's affecting his shooting. And is that a problem? You know, 5 games, missing 5 games is a lot of game. Yeah. Yes, you were asleep. Rob, you were way asleep. Yes, you were a huge music and concert guy going to see the Stones in a few months. Do they come out in wheelchairs is what I want to know. Do they come out in wheelchairs? And if they do, I mean, listen, can you imagine still touring? Well, they said that Shiza, the lead singer, how come I'm blanking on his name? I see his face. I'm blanking. Has more energy than all of us. He actually had a heart procedure and was back touring. I would see the Stones in concert. I saw the Who at their 25th anniversary. Mick Jagger, thank you very much there. As I call you, Podcast Rob. I have Broccoli Rob, who just had his birthday, and I have Podcast Rob. Well, Podcast Rob, yes. So that's what I heard. A lot of energy, which I like a lot. But yeah, Knicks have a game tonight, and I'm a little concerned because we haven't heard anything about Grimes' knee injury. But you've heard even less about OG and an elbow. 5 games, a lot of games to miss. And is he coming back? And when is he coming back? And I don't think I personally, and I was talking to Podcast Rob about this, that I don't think they should jump the gun and make some trades now to bring somebody in that doesn't fit the nucleus of the team, which Rob concurred with me. And, you know, you still have out, you're at least another 2 weeks before evaluating for Randall. The Mavs blew out won by 16 over the Sixers last night. Sixers now 30-19. They've lost 4 of their last 5. And the Clippers won last night. They're 26-5 their last 31. which, I mean, they're playing out of their goddamn minds. And Josh Harden is just, I guess he's happy in LA. I guess he's finally happy somewhere. And I saw the Nets lost last night. Weren't shooting well. They lost by 11. They didn't have a lot of healthy bodies. And the bodies they could have played, from what I read, weren't going to help the team much anyway, but they had a bad shooting night. And I saw Curry hit a three. I mean, I just love watching him play. I mean, he just goes through, got his own rebound. I mean, that's all hard on his part. And I was talking to James, too, about it, that, Draymond Green, they don't want to play in Paris, which I didn't think about because of Rudy, Gobert, Gobert, he choked him. And I said, you really think he's afraid? You think he gives a shit? And I think Grant Hill made a mistake in a way, not bringing him back. You want a tough guy. You want a guy that's going to be your enforcer for the team, because you want to protect everybody. And as we saw, Donovan Mitchell got into it with Zach Collins, gets like hit and then sucker punches him, which I thought he was. I mean, he got hit and then he did a little flop and then he punched him and then he ran, which is what, dude, there's some guys who should fight and other guys that don't, because that's the thing too. If you're going to punch somebody and, I kind of like the guys, I've gotten into arguments with the guys and the guys stay there and get right in your face. You're like, oh, this guy's serious. You try to scare someone and then you're like, oh, maybe I should back up. Some guys should just play basketball. Some guys, you want on your side. And Draymond's not going to back up to pretty much anybody. I mean, he's not the biggest guy now, but there are guys now you don't want to mess with. And Draymond, I think that would be good for the Olympic team. They got to have somebody who's going to be there that's going to stick up for the other players and not let anything get out of control. I mean, we'll see what happens on that front, but time will tell. Yeah. So Josh heard after the All-Star break, Rob says, if they could clone 90s Jordan, if they could, and did you guys hear what LeBron said? Oh, LeBron kills me. LeBron is the best. LeBron just, I'll tell you, he thinks he's smarter than all of us, but he isn't. He isn't smarter than all of us. And I gotta find out. I wrote it down. I was okay. So yesterday he was asked twice about the trade deadline last night. He said, you guys went 4-2 on the trip. He was asked this question. 4-2, you feel like as a team you've proven or shown why you guys should continue to invest in this group. And he says, this is who we have, so there's nothing else to talk about. And they asked him again, with the trade deadline approaching, do you like the makeup of this roster? Is this roster good enough to win a championship? The changes need to be made. James said, it's not a question for me. I love who we have in the locker room, and that's all I worry about. I don't get caught up in that. We're going to go out and prepare ourselves every single night, no matter what it is, no matter who's out on this team, no matter what. So it's my job and it's AD's job as the two captains to make sure we keep the main thing. The main focus is now. Thursday's game at home against the Nuggets, and look forward to that matchup. Thank you, Jovan Buha. I just love that. Mr. GM, all of a sudden it isn't Mr. GM. Well, I'm not. Everywhere he goes, he pokes the little bears. Big Bear tells everybody else what to do, and now all of a sudden he's like, no. As captains, we got to do this. Really? And I couldn't remember. And Tommy from Company J said to me, I think I said oh my God, I still can't remember what it's called. You just listen to the podcast and the time thing, with the sand going through it. I can't remember the name of it. And again, and he called me on that. I thought that was funny. And I screwed up the UNC game where it was the first time when they beat Duke. They had two 20-point double-doubles since 98 with Jameson and Carter, which I probably went to that game. I was in school back then. So I'm thinking I probably went to that game. But yeah, I love that about LeBron. Like all of a sudden LeBron, like, I got to do this and that. I'm like, come on, dude. If things aren't working, you're going to bring someone else in. You're going to try to make something happen. Now, this is interesting about the Super Bowl because I know the amount of people betting on the Super Bowl. Well, I said that over $21 billion are going to be bet on the Super Bowl. Yeah, I want to make sure I get this right because, I'm all about keeping the facts. Yes, $23.1 billion, according to the American Gaming Association. I said, that's it? And a record 67.8 American adults, 26%, are expected to bet on this year's Super Bowl, according to American Gaming. So over 68.7 million and over 23.1 billion. And I am in I think three of those, we got 5 boxes in 3 different things. So we are in that. We are in that group that's going to be betting on that stuff. So, So be it. So say it the shepherd, so say it the sheep. Yeah, I don't know why I just said it. Okay, so the 49ers, elite secondary, but play action since week 14. No play action. The EPA expected, with the whole thing with how they expect, the yardage, the points, everything off every play is minus 0.24, which puts them an attempt, which is fifth in the NFL. 36% success rate, sixth in the NFL, 4.7 yards per attempt. So no play action. Great. Okay, play action. Plus, they go from a 0.24 fifth in the league to 28th. They go from a 36% success rate to 53, and they go from 4.7 yards per attempt to 10.4. And you're telling me that Mahomes isn't foaming at the mouth. And Kelsey is pumped for this game. 3 Super Bowls is a totally different trajectory in quarterbacks, coaches, everything. You're behind Noel, Belichick, and then he's tied with, who's he tied with? Yeah, I'm trying to think who has 3 Super Bowl wins. I got to look that up again. But he's tied for third if he gets 3. And quarterbacks, yeah, it's Aikman, it'd be Brady, and it would be Bradshaw. That's the top 3. So he'd be in very illustrious. And I know that a company Jace posted yesterday, and then my buddy Harris sent it to me. Was Joe? Yeah, does Walsh have 3? Oh, right. I'm trying to think. He won 3. Right. He won 81, and they won back to back. Bill Walsh. Yes, Bill Walsh. So Bill Walsh is 3. Right. And then Seifert won the last one and then won another one. Yes. No, Noel has 4, my man. Noel was coach of all 4 championship teams. Yeah, that's a definite. Noel won 4. That I know. That's ever. I wasn't sure if Bill Walsh had 3. Yes. So that's elite. That's elite. That's elite. Yeah. Yes. You meant yes. Podcast Rob meant at least 3. And we'll see what happens on that front. So it's gonna be, it's gonna be interesting. And yeah, hourglass. I think that's what's called an hourglass. And Brock Purdy grew up in a Dan Marino-loving family, but at some point realized he'd have a Drew Brees-like physique. So him and C.J. Stroud studied tape and marveled at his accuracy, which I thought was pretty freaking cool. The Oilers are going for 17 straight tonight at Vegas, which is crazy. I think they're 24-3 the last 27, which is amazing. I mean, that's just. And I'm reading a book by, what the hell's his name? Shit. And it's by Michael Lombardi. And he rates his top 100 football players. And Ted Hendricks went from the Colts, where he won a Super Bowl, to the Packers, and then he was traded for 2 first-round draft picks. And his one season in Green Bay, this is for Ernesto, he intercepted 5 passes, blocked 7 kicks, and then made 75 tackles. 7 block kicks in a season. That's careers. Ted Hendricks weighed like 215 pounds, unstoppable on the field. I mean, the Raiders, man, those Raider teams were good. I mean, that's when you look at those teams; those were great. And they said that Embiid's not going to be reevaluated for another month. UNC plays Clemson tonight. Rockets with Fred VanVleet on the floor. Offensive rating 113.8. Turnover rate about 12. Pace about 99 points per game. 99 comes to 99 points per game. When and it goes up, the offensive rating goes down. Turnover is about the same, but his pace of the team goes up when he's on the court. Did you hear Belichick said the most talented team ever? Yeah, I said that. Yes. Actually, it was in the book. I read the Lombardi book where he said that the other day. I think I read that that Lombardi said that Belichick, yes, podcast Rob, yes, it said the most talented team was the 93 team, but that was Buddy Ryan with the defense, and Pardee was the coach, and they were infighting, and playoff games and everything. They went on an 11-game win streak that year and didn't. Oh, it's all right, dude. That's what it makes me feel. This is the best thing. This is the best thing. Podcast Rob sends me a tweet because from this kid from Sam Block, and just sends it to me. Doesn't know any. Just sent it that about the last rookies of the year, the last couple seasons have all been Ohio State. So Sam Block went to Ohio State. Sam Block is Michigan's cousin, and he just sent this to me. Didn't even, and I was like, "Holy shit, Podcast Rob!" I said, "Dude, that's Michigan's cousin." Now Sammy, as I call him, works for ESPN. He works for the NFL section of ESPN, and they are flying. He won an Emmy. They won a sports Emmy, and they're flying him. He is in Vegas for for all the hard work he's done. That he's going with them to, dude, man, you rock. He is going with them to Vegas at the Super Bowl. And once football season's over, he said that Michigan and I can come up for a tour of ESPN, which is like that's my Disney World. That's where I want to go. I want to go to ESPN. Fuck Disney World, man. I want to go to but Podcast Rob just sends this to me, and I'm like, dude, do you know who this is? He's like, what are you talking about? I go, this is Michigan's cousin. And to send me this just is like it's a wild world we all live in. And I was like, wow. I was like, dude, that is awesome. I just was like, oh. Let me tell you, hours of enjoyment, hours, and I think Podcast Rob put it up, and Harris sent it to me too. He does he does a rap with man, I gotta find it. It was so goddamn funny. I mean, Michigan laughed at it last night, but I saw Podcast Rob put it up, and then Harris sent it to me. Oh, here it is.
I'm Eli Manning. I'm nice. Tom Brady's the GOAT. Sight, I beat him twice.
I beat him twice. Oh my God. He's nice, but I beat him twice. I just, you know what? I'll tell you, I think he's even funnier than his brother. I think he's funnier than his brother. That was, yeah. Oh, and I saw that. I was like, that was goddamn hilarious, dude. That was hilarious. Oh my God, so freaking funny. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, holy shit, dude. That is so goddamn funny. Oh my God. Yeah, so I see why teammates loved him. Yeah. And you know the whole story about him, Podcast Rob, about every time a game is over, he had beer. He had a beer guy in every stadium he was at, always had beer. And they were like, who's the beer guy? Have the beer. Has the beer. And I just thought that was he had his beer guy. Yeah. So they said that Embiid will be reevaluated in 4 weeks. 30-19 dropping. We'll see what happens. Joe Buck saying the Super Bowl is going to be a mess. He said there's going to be something that happens because it's Vegas and it won't stay in Vegas. There's going to be I don't know what he means by that. It's going to be a mess in my mind. Okay. Well, I mean, if it is, I think they're going to stay on top of it. I guess we'll see what happens. And that will be, we'll see what happens. Kawhi, last 30 games, 25-5, 26, 57 from the field, 51 from three, 92 free throw percentage. First player to average 25 points on 55, 50, 90 split on any 30-game span, all-time per Stats Williams. And Wojo posted that. I mean, okay. I was like, cool. Good for him. I mean, I'm happy for him that, they're playing out of their minds right now. I really hope that OG's not out for a long time, because that's not going to be good long term. That's going to be, that's going to be no bueno. A big no bueno. Yeah, Americans betting. Toby Keith died, and I sent the guys a piece. 2003, they were having at the Beacon Theater in New York. They were having the 70th birthday party for Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson was there with Chris Christopherson, and he's not named, but they said it's Toby Keith. And he told Chris Christopherson to tone down the liberal shit. And he said, "What the fuck did you say to me, boy?" And he said, "Well, just tone it down a little bit." He goes, "You ever serve in the military?" He goes, "You ever kill somebody and get a check from Uncle Sam after you did that?" He goes, "Yeah. What have you done? You haven't done shit." He goes, "You need to shut the fuck up." And he says, after the last thing, he says, Waylon Jennings said, which I thought was hilarious. Waylon Jennings said that, you know what Waylon Jennings said about guys like Toby Keith? He said, they're doing to country music what pantyhose did to finger fucking. Okay. Now, a lot of people, this might be a little offensive because, it's 2024. But, he really was, you ever wore the country's uniform? You just don't like the answer. Don't what? Yeah. Hey, have you ever killed another man? Have you ever taken another man's life and then cashed a check your country gave you for doing it? No, you have not. So shut the fuck up. And he said whatever to him, walked away. Christopherson took a deep inhale. Yeah, he said, yeah. Looked at Willie. Don't say a word. Now, I don't know who told the story to. but I saw this today and I was like, I said to everybody, I was like, that's a nice story. Yes. Yes. You should report me to the creator of the podcast. Oh, wait a minute. That's me. So, yes. 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 So, tonight, the Avalanche are the Devils. Clemson's in North Carolina after that big win. Got to keep winning. Memphis at Grizz tonight. Milwaukee's at Phoenix. Dallas at the Nets. We'll see how that works out. Women's AP top 10 still South Carolina. UNC is still 3 even after losing a game. And Kansas was 4 and then lost, went up from 8 to 4 and then lost last night to Kansas State unranked in overtime, 75-70 in the Sunflower Showdown. I never knew it was called that, but I was like, oh, that's cool, man. All right, good for them. Now, Angel posted this. Angel always has good stuff, and he just I'm like, dude, you got to send me some of this stuff. One morning in the training room, Ichiro told the coaches about a text he got from a number he didn't recognize. The guy said he got an Ichiro's number from Alex Rodriguez and wanted to come meet him and study his stretching system. What's the guy's name? One of the coaches asked. Some guy named Tom Brady. Who the fuck is Tom Brady? Who the fuck is Tom Brady? See, there are certain guys that go to a different level. Tom Brady, man. I mean, just that blows your mind, dude. Blows your mind. And I'm like, why? You post this gem, and I'm like, why'd you tell me about this? I'm like, that's why my mind never stops. That's why I'm always scanning shit to talk about, and I have way too much. Yes, Rob, they do. Do you think that's good for this? I think there's a lot of parity now. Yes, I think it's a lot of parity, and I think if you do a bracket this year, you pray that the teams they say are good. I just think there's no super team anymore. It really hasn't been the last couple of years, but I think UConn is they're saying UConn is the most balanced team out there right now. And the thing is in the tournament, you've won bad game, you're done. But I do agree that and the thing is too, Rob, that there's so many teams and conferences that are beating the crap out of each other. So they keep yo-yoing in the top 25 because they just keep playing each other and beating the shit out of each other. And they get to the tournament and hopefully that team is battle tested enough that they get, and there's always, like FDU a couple of years ago goes on a run. I just think that there's a lot more parity now than there has been, and I guess we're going to see what happens. Did I answer your question? Yes, I don't think there's any super teams. I think it's better for basketball that it's a crap, anybody can win, which I kind of like. Like if the Giants had like this year with football. Now I know we ended up with Casey, but Casey was a 3 seed, as San Francisco 1, but you had a chance this year. There was a lot of parity. And, we're busting on everybody. Our Yankees recap, I was talking about the Yankees. They picked up a pitcher from the Dodgers, and I said, I got to be honest with you. I think the Yankees and Mets are going to be tough to win 80. But like Rob says, every year, like the Diamondbacks last year, they have a team that, comes out of nowhere and then goes to a World Series. So if things align, if the pitchers you have play well and, the hitters come across, then yes. But I'm concerned about the Mets. They didn't get anybody to protect Pete Alonso. I'm concerned about the Yankees. I'm like, great, you have all these relievers, but you have to get to the game where you have to put it in their hands where you can actually win the game. But if it's great to have all this relief staff, but if you're losing the game, it doesn't mean shit. I'm still concerned about both teams starting pitching, and I'm concerned about both teams hitting because Judge can't stay healthy. Soto first year in New York is a different atmosphere, and I know Alonso's going to hit. I know Lindor's going to hit, but McNeil is a question mark. I think your catcher is whose name Rob will tell me. I'm blanking on his name, but catcher came off a phenomenal season last year. Volpe too for the. These are 2 young guys. Will they have even better seasons this year? But your pitching staffs, it's all about pitching. And you guys go cold. Can guys step up? Can Marte stay healthy this year? It's all about can guys stay healthy. If they can. Listen, last year everybody thought Atlanta was going to run away with it, and they blew it in the playoffs. Dodgers, too. Dodgers, again, bringing Ohtani this year. It doesn't mean shit. You can get the super team. San Diego had a super team. Did they win it? No, they did not. It's about having a team that plays as a team. I don't give a shit about adding superstar. I'm concerned about bringing in guys that are going to get the job done and can play as a team. And that's why those Yankee teams, the late 90s, early 2000s, was a team. They played as a team. Yes, they had stars in the team. But they had glue guys, and you know what? I'm concerned about both the Yankees and the Mets having a real glue guy around them. I guess Judge is the captain, and Alonso. I'm a little concerned about that they don't have a contract, and you don't know what's going to happen next year. And I think they have to keep him. But if they lose again, I don't care what kind of money Cohen throws at him. These guys want to be on winners. They want to be on teams that are going to play in the playoffs. They want a legacy. They don't want to have a legacy where they're not, competing for championships. or just even get to the playoffs for that. You got to get to the playoffs before you can win a championship. I know I'm probably contradicting myself in a way, but you first have to get to the playoffs in order to win a chip. I mean, there's a lot of things out there that are right now you're like, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's a little nerve wracking I mean, and the Knicks were playing so goddamn well, and now the injuries are starting to bite them in the ass, and I'm like, what's going to happen going forward? I mean, it's not good, not good, not good. Yes. So Embiid now is out, and I talked about the Clippers, talked about men, Ichiro. What else did I want to talk about? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Walter Jones. Do you remember him? He was 6 overall in the 97 draft from Flow State for the Seahawks. In 11-year career, he allowed 23 sacks in 180 games. Meant 88% of the games he never allowed his quarterback to be sacked. I would say that's pretty goddamn good. And Darryl Green set a record for most consecutive seasons with at least one interception. 19. 19. Yeah, this book is awesome. I got it on my Kindle. It's really good. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was. Yeah, Knicks didn't do anything. And how about McCarr for Avalanche? Avalanche, the defenseman, fewest games to reach 300 points. Bobby Orr did 300 points in 279 games. McCarr did it in 280. One behind Bob. I was like, holy shit. Paul Coffey 294 and Brian Leach 295. And so I was listening. Cheryl Swoops was talking about how Caitlin Clark is, a fifth season, with the whole COVID, and that she really shouldn't get over Kelsey Plum because Kelsey Plum did it in 4 seasons for the most points scored in women's college basketball. I'm like, okay, well, I was like, well, so I'm listening to her and I'm like taking it as fact almost. Well, there's people who cover Iowa basketball and they were saying, well, actually, she is going to break the record in less games than Plum did. And she's doing it. And her first year was 6 games and COVID stopped the season. And you're reading all the, you hear people talk and they're not doing any research. They're just blabbing about this, about, she's doing it in 5 years. She did it in 4. Meanwhile, she's going to do it in less games. And I was talking to James last night saying that when she gets to the WNBA, they're going to be like, listen, you're taking shots from everywhere. They're going to knock her on her ass. These women are playing for paychecks. It's going to be interesting. But then some people can't come in that revolutionize the game. And I think she's the type of player that, plays with a lot of fire inside of her. And I just think it'll help the league out. I mean, I think that's I think it'd be great. She might stay another season. And Company J posted something. Carson Beck just bought a $270,000 Lamborghini SUV. $270,000. This kid's a quarterback next, is going to be a senior at Georgia. $270,000 car. I mean, and listen, these schools have a shitload of money, but still, can you imagine being in college and driving a $270,000 car? What's up? What's up, Joe Willie? So Joe Willie Bumbles never puts up anything on social media. He puts up a picture of him in a Roberto Clemente jersey, which he said was his idol, and he saw him play at Shea Stadium. I said, I got nothing. I don't know what. That's awesome. He never puts anything up. And what's he put up? A picture of him in a Roberto Clemente jersey. I said, dude, that's awesome. I said, that's fantastic. I love it. I loved it. I love that picture. I was like, that is so freaking cool. Yeah, I was like, yeah, and I don't know what he thinks about the Mets. Well, they keep making trades for these guys who more relievers. I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, like I just said, I mean, we just don't know. We just don't know. Yeah, yeah. And what else did it? Yeah, someone. Yeah. And Bumble sent me this. Bobby Witt got an extension, 11 years, $288.7 million. And if he can opt out, I think after year 7, if he goes the whole way through, it goes up like $364 million. He's 23 years old. So his extensions are 288.7. And Oakland A's total offseason spending since 2020, $235.8 million. And they're trying to get a new referendum passed in the next couple months for a new downtown stadium for KC, which I think their baseball stadium is gorgeous, and renovations to the Chiefs football stadium. Clemente. Yeah, did you hear about this? I was talking to Michigan about this last night. These migrants in New York are riding around on mopeds and stealing people's freaking phones and wallets off them. They dragged a 62-year-old woman last night, and they get their phones, they hack them, and they try to take all the money out of their accounts. Wonderful people. There's some wonderful people coming into the country right now. And I don't. I mean, and they said it's a whole network of people in this whole thing, and I'm like, wow, good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, yeah, bunch of delinquents. That's what I have to say on that front. Bunch of freaking delinquents. But I like what Bumble sent me right there. Yeah, yesterday was whatchamacallit's birthday was Daniel's. Oh, and I saw this. Somebody put this. Can't wait to rent my apartment to a Middle Eastern oil baron for 75,000 a week when the 2020. What do you think about that? The World Cup coming to New Jersey. Dallas was pissed off. Seattle's actually hosting one of the U.S. men's national team. I think that's great. Kim Kardashian announced the games in L.A. Kim Kardashian. I didn't know she was this soccer aficionado, but Kim Kardashian. That's who they picked for L.A. was Kim Kardashian. The voice still is like shards of glass. It's like fingernails against a chalkboard. Kim Kardashian's voice drives me fucking nuts. It's like, today we're gonna talk about. I mean, they did a great impression of the sisters on Saturday Night Live. It still cracks me up. Still cracks me up to this day. Yeah, it's perfect. Yes, yes. Okay, what? Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Looking forward to having you on the show. Okay, so Yankees recap will come to the show and it'll defend the Yankees, which I like. Las Vegas mayor says athletic stadium plan does not make sense and that they should try to remain in Oakland. Okay, good luck with that. Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah. You think they're going to let that happen? No, not even close. No, no, not even close. All right. Yeah, I could talk a little Knicks right now. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff. Knicks, the Brunson should be player of the week. We'll see if that Mets looking at Ursula. Ursula? Who's Ursula? Is that the guy from talking about the guy from the Dodgers? Who's that? Straight to World Series. I don't even know who that is. Bumbles, give me a little more information. Who we talking about? Podcast Rob might be able to help us out. Who's Ursula? Got to help me out here. I don't know. Yeah, so Brunson could be had a great week, 34, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. Oh, Gio no, the former Yankee? Hey, listen, another bat. What's it? Vivientos is going to be DH. Yeah, that should work out well. They should bring back Fatty. Now, how about this? Ryan Arcidiacono is the first player in NBA history to play 20 consecutive games without scoring a point, average 2.3 minutes a game. Brunson defended him by saying he March Madness MVP, Big East Player of the Year, NCAA champ, 3-time All Big East, number 15, retired by Villanova, 7-year NBA vet, over 12.5 in NBA earnings. Great college player. Jalen, great. He will go down as one of the greatest Villanova basketball players ever. The problem is we're in the NBA now, where guys get paid to play, and it's not translating to the NBA. Great teammate, whatever, but you get 20 appearances. I don't care whatever you're playing. You're not scoring a point in 20 straight appearances. NBA isn't your world. It's not going to happen. Yes, Ron Bloomberg. Bumbles wants Ron Bloomberg as DH for the Mets, the first and one of the chosen people, the first DH in Major League Baseball history. Yes, he sucks. He does suck. And I love that Jalen Brunson has given him a lot of love, but he sucks. Yes, he really does. So this is an interesting question for all you guys. Now, this is a couple days ago. Guards from the 2018 draft class this season. Trey, over 27, 11 assists. SGA, 31, 6-6. Brunson, 27, 4-6. And Luka, 35, 9-10. Rank them 1 to 4. Who are you going to rank with Trey, SGA, Brunson, and Luka? Well, I got to be honest with you. I put Trey as 4th because I don't think he makes his team better. And I don't think Luka. Well, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's a tough one. SGA is young and he's getting better, but they haven't done anything in the playoffs. Well, they haven't really, they haven't made the playoffs. So I'm Luka. Yeah. Bumbles has him 1. Brunson is coming on. And I'll tell you, with all the injuries, Bumbles, I'm a little concerned that this season could just go in the shitter. I mean, we're going to see what happens, but it could go in the shitter. So I hope not. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. And that's the thing. We got to see if they're going to come back and stay healthy. So you have Luka 1, Brunson 2, SGA 3, and Trey. Who do you have? Trey or who do you have? That's what I was wondering. Who do you have? Who's your guys? I mean, it's a hell of a list. You should, but I don't think Trey Young makes players around him better. And I think Brunson is just getting better and better. He hasn't even Oh, so you see, I don't have SGA is a phenomenal player. I don't think a lot of people have seen enough of SGA, but I think SGA is going to have a hell of a career. So I'm curious how that's going to work out. And the Rockets, 18-9 record at home, seventh best, but they are 5-17 on the road. Only the Pistons have less road wins. Yeah, I can talk about the Sixers. Sixers not playing well. Embiid's going to miss the next 4 weeks. Sixers players with multiple 50-point games in a season: Wilt, AI, Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey. Yeah, and T-Wolves were 34-14, 20 plus games over 500 this late in the season. First time since 2003-4 season when they finished 58-24 and they lost the Western Conference Final in 6 games to the Lakers. And Anthony Edwards, 18 30-point games this season, 55 career. He ties Kevin Love for third most already. Guy can ball. The guy can ball. Yeah, and Clippers only won by 149-144 last night. Kawhi at 36, Harden at 30, 8 rebounds, 10 assists. Trae Young at 25, 12 assists. Yeah. 6-win, improving to 26-5. Everyone help well because you have the Grammys, everybody to leave town, and Russell Westbrook is in the 25,000 point club, and Kawhi Leonard is 16-0 against the Heat in the last decade. The last time he lost to Miami was Game 2 of the 2014 NBA Finals. Crazy, right? Now, this is so we got the All-Star game coming. February 18th will be played on a wood court, but they are going to have a state-of-the-art LED glass court for the events at Lucas Oil Stadium. A state-of-the-art LED court that will be used at Lucas Oil include the Celeb Game on February 16th, the State Farm Night, which I can't wait for, the Kia Skills, the 3-point where Ionescu from the WNBA is going against Curry in the 3-point. Yeah, that's awesome. Then the NBA versus WNBA 3-point challenge, the 3-point contest, and the slam dunk, which Jaylen Brown might be appearing in. Which Mac McClung last year won it, and he's really was a G League guy, but he added some fire to it last year. I just think I think it's run its course. I think it's jumped the shark. I just don't think it's what it used to be. So I thought that was, I thought that was cool. I like the LED court. I think that's a really cool little addition to the. Yeah, I like it a lot actually. I'm curious what's going to happen. They'll be able to change the with the design and color changes, live replays, and other video content, real-time game stats, location-based player tracking animations, interactive games for fans during timeouts, and immersive animations following key plays. And I like that. So Rivers said he'll give Adrian Griffith his All-Star game ring and bonus, and he's 1-3, and he's going to coach the All-Star team, which is bullshit. They're 1-3, the Bucks. Yeah, Doc Rivers, good pickup. And Chris Finch will go there with he'll lead the West. His T-Wolves are the best team in the West right now. So you got the West reserves are Kawhi, AD, who had AD's playing good basketball lately. Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, Curry, Paul George, and Cat. The East are Brown, Mitchell, Brunson, Bam. Randall will have to be replaced. Tyrese Maxey and Banchero. And Donovan Mitchell plans to play in the 3-point contest. Now, I was going to talk about Tony Snell, who missed the deadline for his 10th year for autistic kids. And then a guy, Robert Lital, who I follow, said that his wife spends $30,000 a month on he made over $55 million in his career. And people and Barkley was fighting for him to get the 10th year to get benefits for his autistic kids. Well, maybe his wife, instead of spending $30,000 a month, could be thinking about the kids, and he too. And so I went from saying all like stand up for this guy to being like, no. Something, it smells rotten in Denmark. So the Lakers beat the Hornets last night, 27-25 now. D'Angelo Russell's trade rumors, 28. Anthony Davis, 26 points, 15 rebounds, 11 assists. LeBron, 26. And for the Hornets, Miles Bridges, 41. And Brandon Miller, the rookie out of Bama, 33. And Jared Vanderbilt, now they're saying, I read that he could be out the rest of the season with a right foot injury suffered in the Boston game last Thursday, but we'll see how that works. And Klay Thompson said it's been hard not to be playing for Warriors in the closing lineup. Hey, you know what? And I saw a stat from Splash Brothers Muse that he's the fewest average of free throw attempts among the top 20 players with the most 30, 40, and 50-point games. He only averages 6 free throw attempts in 30-point games, 8 in 40, and 9 in 50. Okay. And allegedly, Kerr says he wants to keep the unit together Won't find better players in a trade. Salary cap next year, 141 million, roughly $1 million lower than the previous cap projection. Sabonis has 30 straight double doubles for the Kings. Only 14 players have ever done that since January 1st. 21, 15 rebounds, 9 assists, 66 from the field, 71 from three. Leads the league in rebounds and assists in that stretch. Hey, what's up, Angie? Victor Oladipo for Steve Adams, traded from the Rockets, was traded to Oladipo and 3 second-round picks to the Memphis for Steve Adams. Neither of them, they're both out for the season. And they think that, the Rockets next year, Adams is a guy that will be very tough to keep off the offensive boards, and he could be good in the second unit. So we'll see what happens there. Wemby is averaging 0.72 points per minute this season, the most points per minute by a rookie since Michael Jordan. And Kyrie and Gordon Hayward already ineligible to win an NBA award this season because they will not play 65 games this season. Remember Earl Cureton? Used to be a Sixer, played in 12 seasons, third-round pick, nicknamed the Twirl, won a title with Philly in 83, Rockets in 94, averaged 5 points, 4 rebounds, 66 years old. Yeah, saw that. I was like, ugh. Cavs are 14-1 their last 15. They beat the Kings last night, 136-110, 32-16. And that's where, the Knicks being injured gets you a little nervous going forward. So we'll see what happens, but they're playing out of their goddamn minds, out of their minds right now. I mean, unbelievable. And yeah, and everybody's going for the high. They want to be a 2. Nobody wants to be a 4 or 5. Everybody wants to be the 2 seed. So we'll see what happens there. And Nneka Ogwumike, the 2018 WNBA MVP, she's going to go play with this. She has played for the Sparks since being drafted number 1 in 2012, signed with the Seattle Storm. And Skylar Diggins-Smith also signed with the Storm. She reunites with former Notre Dame teammate Jewel Lloyd. And Diana Taurasi is going for her 6th Olympics. She will compete at the 2024 FIBA Women's Olympic Qualifying Tournament, February 8th through 11th in Antwerp, Belgium. Thank you, Josh Weinfuss. But how about that? Taurasi, 6 goddamn Olympics, 41 years young. We should all be like them. Grand Hill portfolio: Baltimore Orioles, Hawks, NBA Africa, soccer, and MLS and NWSL, the Orlando City, Orlando Pride, Fila, broadcaster, managing director of Team USA, and real estate investor. Things good. Yeah, Virginia beat Miami. They're both trying to get. The Cavaliers are 114-2 when allowing 50 points or fewer under head coach Tony Bennett. That's pretty awesome. That's I would say that's a pretty good, pretty damn good. NC State won by 10 over Louisville women's basketball. They are 20-2 NC State. And yeah, UNC, I talked about them. They play Clemson tonight, Miami on Saturday, next Tuesday at Syracuse, next Saturday, house Virginia Tech. Yes, good for them. And how about High Point? Kiza Giffa, best name ever. He's 20-plus points in 8 of his last 9 games. shooting only 90% for the foul line. Absolute stud. St. Mary's looks like they're are undefeated in the West Coast Conference, whereas Gonzaga they have to win the tournament in Vegas or they're out, which is kind of crazy to say. And how about Juju Watkins? 51 points, most by a player in D1 this season, most by any player in a game for USC ever, most by a freshman since Elena Deladon's 54 versus James Madison in 2010. She scored 51 of their 67 points. The highest percentage, 76% by any D1 player to game over the last 25 seasons. She's also the first player in the last 25 seasons to score 50 points against an AP top 5 team. Unbelievable. So there are 5 teams that remain undefeated in league play. Vermont in the American East at 8-0, High Point, Big South 9-0, Cornell and Yale and Ivy are 6-0, and St. Mary's and the WCC are 9-0. Thank you, Jeff Goodman. And Dartmouth ruled that the National Labor Union NLRB ruled that Dartmouth men's basketball players are considered university employees under U.S. labor law and therefore are eligible to unionize. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. So I want to see where this is going to go. They're going to probably fight it, but Jesus. I was like, damn. And Isles beat the Maple Leafs. I like what Josh put. He goes, who cares? Nobody cares. Because there's a bunch of guys in company of Jace that are big Islanders fans. And Josh is like, who cares? But John McClain's son, Kyle, scored his first NHL goal ever. NHL goal in his 6th career game. And Maple Leaf Pierre Engvall buried the winner on a rebound with 2 to give New York a hard-fought win. It was his first game in Toronto since being traded a year ago. You see Justin Bieber at the All-Star game? Well, the jacket he was wearing was $4,600. And Todd McClellan is going to be replaced by Jim Hiller for the Kings, who are fighting for a wild card spot. I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah, and they brought Dubois, traded for Pierre-Luc Dubois, who last year had 63 points. This year, 10 goals, 20 points in 48 games. Okay, let's change that to be. And Canucks, Brock Boser, 30 goals, 30 career goals in a season, first time ever. 3rd hat trick earlier. I thought that was kind of interesting. Now, I told you I'm reading that Lombardi book. Listen to this. 1951, the San Francisco Dons, Gino Marchetti, I think it's Marchetti, from the Hall of Famer for the Colts. Post-career, he opened up hamburger franchises. He began his professional career as an offensive lineman for the University of San Francisco, where he played for future Eagles head coach Joe Kuharich. The Dons were loaded with future Hall of Famer talent and were one of the few integrated teams of the era. Their ranks included running back Ollie Matson and offensive tackle Bob Sinclair, both Hall of Famers. They defeated every team they played, outscoring them 338 to 86. The closest margin of victory was 6 points, which was on October 21st, 1951, when they played the Fordham Rams at Randall's Island in New York. I run over there sometimes. As a result of the perfect season, they were invited to participate in the Orange Bowl, one of only 8 bowls in the era, with one condition: no black players were allowed to play. Matson and linebacker Burl Toller, who later became the first black NFL official, had to stay home. They were in dire straits financially. Participating in this game would supply the funds the university needed to maintain their football team. The players voted unanimously against the game, which made their athletic news director and future NFL commissioner Pete Rozelle extremely happy. Immediately after the vote, the school closed down its football program. How about that? If the whole team can't go, we're not going. But you need the money to keep playing. Fuck that. We're a team. We go as one, or we don't go at all. And I saw that. I was like, God damn. And I said, I got to talk. Like, there's stuff that all the time happens, and I love that stuff. And I saw that, and that was a hell of a. Think about that. Not only the team, but your athletic news director was Pete Rozelle. That's like a dream team of players. Pete Rozelle changed football. The NFL draft, ESPN goes, we want to televise the NFL draft because they didn't have enough content. And he's like, all right, let's try it out here. And now people watch it religiously. I went one year. You know who should go with me? Rob would. I think Rob would get a kick out of that. I think he'd be bored after like 20 minutes, but it's an experience to go to once and never go back again. So Goodell had a invitation only, and he had his press conference yesterday. His commissioners, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, his press conference. And he was asked for the 3rd straight year, about the NFL media newsroom, which there was public questioning regarding the demographics of the NFL media newsroom, ultimately got Jim Trotter fired. So Darren Smith of KLKC Radio raised the issue. He says, as of this press conference, the NFL media newsroom still employs 0 black managers, 0 black copy editors, 0 full-time black employees on the news deck, and your only full-time black employee, Larry Campbell, passed away over the weekend. How does knowing this sit well with you? And after 2 years of being asked this question, why have there not been any changes or any hirings? Well, he said, I disagree completely that there hasn't been any change. I'm happy to get your data and share it with our people and make sure that we get an answer for you. Well, that's not an answer. I don't have all the data. He said, I'll get the data. I'm happy to get your data. Okay. I'll tell you that for the first time, 51% of our employees across the league, across the network, so across all of media platforms, not including players, are either people of color or women. First time ever, so progress is being made, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So basically said, try to the matter. Goodell simply doesn't care, doesn't want to know. That is what it is. These are facts. Nothing he says changes it. And yeah, yeah, yeah. And they said this might work at an invitation-only press conference. It definitely won't work if when he's under oath and testifying in Trout's lawsuit against him being fired. Yeah, he offered no data in response, but he says we'll get the data. He rejected it as being based on bad data, but he offered no data in response. I can't stand Goodell. I know he's making all this money and doing all this shit, and they're having the first game ever in Brazil where it's going to be the Eagles playing on a Friday opening weekend. Why the fuck? Because it's a global sport now. NFL is not a global sport. If it was a global sport, then teams from other nations would be catching up, and football, you'd be hearing about, yeah, it's being played in other countries, but the level of football over there is not very good. And if he thinks he's going to compete with soccer everywhere else in the world, he's fucking out of his mind. We need a game on a Friday in Brazil. So Philly fans lose a home game because they have to play the game in Brazil. Really? Brazil needs to have a football game. You're kidding me. I mean, it'll be a nice little thing to see, but honestly, a game in Brazil, that's a global sport because they got to keep increasing. They're not making enough money. They got to make even more money. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Rob, totally. One day there will be a Super Bowl outside the U.S. Yes, because it's a global sport. And that'll piss off all the fans. Infuriate them. Yeah. Now, this was interesting. I read in the Lombardi book, too, about Brett Favre. There are 3 levels of accuracy under pressure from the rush. Level 1, can a quarterback throw the ball through the door? Most can. Level 2, can a quarterback hit the doorknob? A smaller percentage of players are capable on the list as the list grows shorter. Level 3, can the quarterback throw the ball through the keyhole? The keyhole throws the elite passers as their accuracy is pinpoint. And he says that's why Lombardi says Rodgers is so effective. He throws the ball through the keyhole without touching the metal, much like basketball superstar Kevin Durant makes jump shots with the ball never disturbing the net. He said he controls the placement of the ball, effectively making it easier for his receivers to make the catch. He rarely misses the precise spot required to complete the throw, and harsh weather never affects his laser-like passes. Well, didn't get to see it last year with the Jets. We saw 4 snaps. So they do. Everybody talks about his accuracy, the way he throws the ball. I've always heard that. Yes, and you've watched it. But he hasn't been as great the last couple of years. He's had some misses on plays where he usually makes them. Father Time always wins, folks. Father Time always wins. I hope it doesn't, I hope for the sake of Josh and Aaron and Broccoli Rob and Marco and Jay. I know I'm forgetting, and Tom and Steven, some of my real Jet fans out there, that it doesn't come true this season. And Bumbles. Bumbles is a huge Jets fan, so I hope not. We'll see what happens. Mahomes says Chiefs would put a stamp on NFL history if they could win back-to-back championships. Brock Purdy said, 33rd team, I saw this. Life isn't about you. It's about being a part of something bigger than yourself. Hey, listen, I love that. Oh, and Kadarius Toney says, I'm being a number 1 wide receiver. Yeah, if I get the ball. So maybe just stay on the field. And when you're on the field, don't drop passes. Maybe play more, talk less, and shut the fuck up. Because I'm tired of hearing this shit he talks about himself. Yes, Jose, I forgot about you. Jose, I apologize. Yes. We hope that this year isn't the case. So I saw this from Connor Allen. He said, for people who are going to bet on the Super Bowl. And he said, this should help you. So I'm doing this for all the people out there that are going to bet on the Super Bowl. He said, Brock Purdy has played against top 5 pass defense this season. Week 6 against Cleveland. He threw 12 of 27 for a $125, a touchdown interception. They scored 17 points. Against week 16 against Baltimore, 255, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. They scored 12 points before he left the game. The Chiefs defense ranks third in per dropback EPA allowed, 3rd in success rate allowed, 4th in explosive pass rate allowed, and 2nd in pressure rate this season. And they've locked down top wideouts this season. They've been susceptible to fringe wide receiver ones and secondary options, though. So Diggs did not do shit. 2 games, 7 catches for 45 yards. Jefferson, I'm going through the list. Devontae Adams had 5 for 73. Ross St. Brown had 6 for 71 opening day. Garrett Wilson had 9 for 16. Keenan Allen, 4 for 55. Joshua Palmer for the Chargers, 5 for $133. Zay Flowers, 5 for $115. Christian Kirk for Jags, 11 for 110. So, that could happen. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle all played 60% of the snaps in 11 games together. And the target shares in those games, Debo 23, Ayuk 22, and Kittle 18. And the Chiefs defense leads the league in two high safety looks. In those 11 games on plays against two high looks, the 49ers targets were, so Debo got 27% of the targets, Ayuk got 18, and Kittle got 16%. Now, the 49ers use zone blocking on a large majority, 75% of the rush attempts. The Chiefs' run defense against runs with zone blocking, 4.62 yards per carry, 29th, 51.9 success rate, 29th, and 31st in stuff rate. So I guess you take that against runs with zone blocking. So I guess that's not good for the Chiefs. Hayden Wink said the Chiefs are also 27th in yards per carry allowed when opposing defenses have two running backs in the field. Kyle Juszczyk will get some snaps. Nearly 70% of the Chiefs' rush attempts come out of the shotgun, averaging almost 5 yards per carry. The 49ers run defense for runs out of the shotgun, almost 4.6 yards per carry and 2.7 yards after contact per attempt. Oh, wow. And Pacheco averages 2.7 yards after contact per runs out of the shotgun. And the Niners defense rushes 80% of the time, and plays zone defense 75% of the time. So Mahomes against 4 pass rushers and zone defense. 70% completion rate, 7 yards per attempt, 4.5% completion percentage over expectations, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Interesting. He threw the second most interception in the NFL against that matchup. And Rashee Rice ran a route of over ran around on over 65% of the dropbacks in every meaningful game from week 12 on. He leads the team in targets per route run and target share. And Kelsey was second. And against 4 pass rushers and zone defense, what the Niners do a lot, the Chiefs pass catchers have both performed well. Travis Kelsey and Rashee Rice both been good. The Niners' efficiency metrics are solid against tight ends, but they have allowed multiple tight ends to have a success against them this season. They rank 4th in defense-adjusted value over average. It calculates a team success based on the down and distance of each play during the season. Then it calculates how much more or less successful each team is compared to the league average. So Trey McBride from Arizona had 102 yards and 10 catches. Sam Laporta had 97 on 9 in the championship game. TJ Hawkinson had 11 for 86 on 12 targets. Isaiah Likely did 3 for 56. That was a blowout. Zach Ertz. Yeah, so I guess we'll see what happens. Listen, it's a big game. I can't go against I just can't go against Mahomes. Mahomes is going for legacy stuff. And Shanahan is 8-3. This is Morning Blitz. I love Morning Blitz. 727 win percentage is the highest of any coach or manager in MLB, NBA, NFL, NHL history who has never won a championship. I love that Jed York flew the entire staff to Vegas on charter flights. Shanahan, Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, the 4th pair of coaches to face off multiple times Super Bowl history. Landry and Chuck Noll, 75 and 78. Marv Levy, Jimmy Johnson, 92, 93. And Belichick and Tim Coughlin, 2007, 2011. And we all know what happened in 2007 and 2011. Victory for the G-Men. Victory. Victory, baby. And Christian McCaffrey has the most touches in football this season, 339. And Patrick Mahomes, this is from Scott Caxmore, is the only quarterback to win a Super Bowl when his team allowed 25 points per game in the playoffs. He's done it twice. And Niners will be the first team to play in the Super Bowl while being favored every game of the season to the 2017 Pats, who lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl, 41-33. Lester Hayes thinks that Travis Kelsey is Dave Casper's son. He made that boy check to see if Kelsey's mama dated Dave. And 3 or more NFL titles to Super Bowl wins. Lombardi, Walsh, I forgot Gibbs. Gibbs has 3 Super Bowls. Yes, I'm sorry, Gibbs. I left him out of that. Gibbs, Hank Stram, Weeb Eubank, Paul Brown, George Halas, Belichick, Curly Lambeau, Guy Chamberlain, Chuck Noll, and Andy Reid could join that group. Oh, field conditions, San Francisco at UNLV. They were not happy. They said a sod field. They said it's not good. Yeah. The NFL put in a sod field on top of the field turf and started laying it just last week. Yeah, it has to meet certain standards. How do you you have the Super Bowl coming on. How do you do it this late? I'm sorry. The NFL hardness score for fields average is 78 with no field being less than 70. The 49ers field is considered in the 50 sources though. Come on. Are you telling me? All of them think it's a very bullshit, Goodell said. Come on. Oh, please. You know what? I don't know. And the Raiders, the Chiefs are at the Vegas training facility, Raiders training facility. So we'll see what happens there. Oh, and Adam Schefter feels that Caleb Williams will go number 1 to the Bears, and they will trade Justin Fields. And I guess they're not willing. That we'll see. And he also said Caleb isn't working with an agent unlike John Elway or Eli Manning had his dad in his ear. So Eli Manning's Archie was like, "You're not going to San Diego. That's not a good fit. We're not letting it happen." Schefter says requesting to go to Washington, which he says NFL teams won't be stiff-armed by a prospect. Yeah. Schefter said requesting to go to Washington, which he says NFL teams won't be stiff-armed by a prospect, is an intricate process that would require him to hire an agent. Thank you, Jacob Infante. I mean, I guess we're going to see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. I don't know, man. That's going to be interesting. Giants signed former Titans DC Shane Bowen. There's a guy I follow. I don't know anything enough about him, but I was going to ask what Rob thought about this one, about Shane Bowen. I don't know enough about him, but you got to do DC. I think, I'm sorry that things didn't work out. Wink. I would have liked to seen him stick around. I guess we're going to see what happens, but and Mike Kafka was not allowed to speak with. He was blocked from speaking to Seattle for the OC role, which I'm not shocked about. So yeah, I don't know enough about Shane Bowen. They said his D was pretty good when he was with the Titans, but I didn't read enough to say either way. And Mike Lupica says they will play Super Bowl this Sunday in Vegas, another place where the Jets should have won, but didn't because they had the worst quarterback play of the season since leather helmets, or maybe since last season. And Richard Castor died at 75 in his sleep at his home on Long Island after a long illness. Yeah, he was before my time. He was switched from wide receiver to tight end, second-round pick out of Jackson State in 1970, caught 322, 55, 15, 45 touchdowns during his career, 3 Pro Bowls with the Jets, 72, 74, 75. His 4,434 yards receiving with the Jets ranked 10th on the franchise career list. Week 2, 72, they beat Johnny Unitas and the Colts 44-34. He had 6 catches for 204. That I remember. Set career highs 833, 10 touchdowns that season. Yeah. And then he ended up finishing his career with 81 with New Orleans and Washington. He played in one game for a Washington team that won the Super Bowl to cap the 82 season. Played 13 years, survived by his wife and 3 children. I'm sorry, 5 children. His son Max is a professional wrestler signed to All Elite Wrestling. Yeah, and Washington was not happy with Ben Johnson withdrawing from his head coaching. They were not happy at all. No. Yeah. So I don't think Dan Quinn's the answer, but we'll see what happens on that front. Yeah, I'm not a Dan Quinn fan at all. And he hired as his DC former Cowboys secondary coach Joe Witt Jr. He's following him. And Cliff Kingsbury decided I'm going to go. I guess he thought Washington was a better job than Oakland. And Mahomes talked about how good he was, with him at Texas Tech, which he did. And I think he started out. I read an article where one of his Baker Mayfield started off as Texas Tech and then transferred to Oklahoma, but he walked on at Texas Tech. He's had some great quarterbacks, but he didn't get the job done when he was in Arizona at all. And the Ravens are set to hire Michigan's Doug Mallory as a defensive back coach. He worked under Jim Harbaugh at Michigan and was going to work with his brother. And they thought he was going to follow McDonald to Seattle. So Zach Orr is the new defensive coordinator for the Ravens. 31-year-old former linebacker promoted, had an offer from the Packers, decided to stay there. And Mark Andrews saved a woman's flight over the weekend on a flight from Baltimore to Phoenix. There was a medical emergency. They couldn't find a pulse. I didn't know Andrews is a type 1 diabetic. He said, could it be a blood sugar? I have a diabetic testing kit. Gave them the kit to use, and her heart rate stabilized. They treated her when the flight landed. I was like, holy shit, man. Wow. Yes. And I guess they're saying Brian Gutekunst, the GM for the Packers, said a long-term deal with Jordan Love will go down that road. I think that'll be important for our football team. Yeah, you think so? To have stability there? You think so? Yeah, you think so? Anthony Weaver is going to be the new defensive coordinator for the Dolphins. He was the Ravens assistant coach. Took over for Vic Fangio, who was 1 year. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, going to play in Brazil. So it's not going to be, they said it's not going to probably be the Browns and Steelers are options. Probably not going to be the Bengals. Yeah, they're scheduled to host the Eagles in 2024, and the Eagles will be the home team in Brazil. So we'll see. But yeah, Brazil is new for us this year. Goodell said, we think this is giving us the ability to access more fans. Not here just in the States, but on a global basis. And I think it's going to be a huge hit. We're excited. NFL.com, the league counts 38 million fans in Brazil with an increased interest when it comes to the playoffs and Super Bowl. So 49,000 seat Corinthians Arena, which played host the World Cup match in 2014, as well as the Olympic soccer match in 2016 is the likely site of the game. Shit. And Jason Kelsey can't wait for Kellen Moore. He wants to talk to him about the Ezekiel Elliott snapping the ball. He said that creativity didn't work on that play, but it's not always going to work. I still want to know what was going to happen. I thought Kelsey was retiring, so I don't know. And I saw Carson Strong, who I remember him at Nevada. He's had a lingering knee injury, hasn't even played as a pro, been on a couple practice squads. He's going to be offensive coordinator for Reno High, and he will also become a private quarterback coach, of course, in Northern Nevada, Northern California areas. Why not? Hey, do what you know. Marvin Lewis is supposed to join the Raiders as an assistant head coach, and they're going to hire Deshaun Watt Foster as the running back coach. He's been at UCLA since 2012. Yeah. How about Henry Ruggs from millionaire to $250 an hour in Nevada State Prison? Life changes, huh? And Liam Cohen is going to be the offensive coordinator for the Bucks, bouncing between the Rams and Kentucky the last 6 years. Possible reunion with pending free agent Baker Mayfield. You know, he was with the Rams last year. Ryan Jensen, remember he hurt his knee? One game, last 2 years, retiring. That guy, he was awesome. Super Bowl. He was great in the Super Bowl. Great. You know, guy gets hurt, it's all over. Marlon Humphrey, a little caddy right there. The greatest coach of all time did not get hired at a 6 head coaching jobs. I think that debate can be put to rest now. I thought this was interesting from James and Brian Dable, MVP. Lamar Jackson, 19-1 against the NFC. The Green Bay Packers are 16-1 in December games under Matt LaFleur. The Patriots were 18-1 in 2007, 2008. All the losses, the New York Football Giants. I think Rob would like that one. I thought he'd like that one. I thought that was kind of funny. What's going on here? Yeah, do not disturb. Stay on. Oh, what did Rob send me? Rob sent me something? What did he send me? Yeah, I saw that Carson Beck, $270,000 for that car, dude. ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers are combining their sports rights to launch a new sports streaming service. What the hell is this? The service will be available to all ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Max subscribers, and each company will own 1/3 of the product. Sports rights, ESPN, Fox, and Warner. Wow, Joe Pompliano. He's the guy. Wow, that's big. I would say that's big. Wonder how much more my Hulu is going to go up every fucking month. Probably a lot. Oh, great. I need. I love when my insurance company tells me I can get PT work if I need. I don't need PT work, but thank you. Maybe in the future. I mean, hopefully never. Yes. Luke McCaffrey was a college quarterback 2 years ago. Now he's a wide receiver. Had a one-handed catch in the Senior Bowl. Cornerback Max Melton. He's looking forward to go against his brother Bo. Plays for the Packers. Both played at Rutgers. And that's the thing about the Senior Bowl. You're going against the best of the best. Louis Riddick, I love him, what he has to say. Joe Smeltzer, Penn State defensive end. Adissa Isaac was ESPN's Louis Riddick Senior Bowl practice MVP. He said once we get into the testing phase of the evaluation, if he runs and jumps up there in the upper percentiles for his position group, he's going to be drafted way higher than expected. Brentnall said about Brendan Rice, Jerry's son, saying he's among the best players there. While others felt left unimpressed, he goes, I'm definitely in the latter camp. Not a bad player, but he's stiff and struggles to separate, which you got to be able to separate. You got to be able to. Yeah. And Tez Walker, who, they banned him from playing, ineligible. Then he got to play for UNC. Had a couple of 3 games over 130 yards against the Hurricanes, Virginia, and Duke. They did not play well. He sat out the Mayo Bowl, Senior Bowl. He's been plagued by drops. He'll have to fight to get cornerbacks will hound him. He'll need to fight to gain position to make difficult catches. Basically, they said he did not look good. They thought there was some first round buzz. He's more likely a mid round option. So I guess we'll see. But Ramon Wilson and Lad McConkey stood out. They talked about him. Xavier Legette from South Carolina, physical target. I've heard good things. They said Brendan Rice, bully defensive backs. I mean, everybody has their own goddamn opinions, but I guess we'll see. Luke McCaffrey, they said, is a guy that, that just took over wide receiver. He's a guy that could turn out to be pretty good. Leslie Frazier was hired as Seattle's new defensive coordinator, assistant coach. And Jay Harbaugh is going to be the special teams coordinator. All right. And Boomer said that actually Belichick was offered the job by the Falcons, but turned it down. That's what he said. And Ike Hilliard, who was a good Giant, is joining Raheem Morris's staff. I liked him. Yeah, he was a good player. He's on his 5th team. Marcus Brady to join Jim Harbaugh's pass game coordinator. And all right, good luck with that. And Greg Roman. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Harbaugh's going to get good guys. And he called Justin Herbert a shining star. And Denard Wilson is going to be the defensive coordinator, the Ravens defensive backs coach. And the Titans plan to hire Jaguars pass game coordinator Nick Holtz as the new offensive coordinator. And Chris Shula, 7 years, grandson of Don Shula, Rams assistant, 7 years, finally got the defensive coordinator job. 7 years an assistant, most recently as a pass rush coordinator, linebackers coach. I found this interesting. So, coaches fired this year: Rivera, Vrabel, Carroll, Belichick, Staley, Reich. I mean, the first 4 all defensive coordinators. First 5. Then you had Reich offensive coordinator, Smith offensive, McDaniel former offensive. So every opening this year except Atlanta was vacated by a former DC or a retread head coach. And that's the thing, when you have look at DeMeco Ryan, you're always gonna lose an offensive coordinator. Now the thing is, can you get a guy to replace him? And luckily, Lions kept their guy, and the Texans kept Slowick, but that's what happens. Well, if it doesn't, it could get him fired in the future. And Pat's Alex Van Pelt, offensive coordinator, last 4 years as the Browns offensive coordinator with Gerard Mayo. Yeah, Bill Belichick. Mike Vrabel, I was more shocked about, didn't get a job. And so both this from Tayshaun Reed. NFL players missed 700 or fewer games due to injury in 2023 than in 2022, which is due to a drop in lower body injuries. The number of concussions increased, no shit, right? And Bill's new defensive coordinator, Bob Babich, he's bringing him. So we'll see if that works out. Joshua likes him. And Teddy Bridgewater, how about this? Head coach at Miami Northwestern Senior High School, his alma mater. I like that. Mike Evans is expecting between 25 and 30 million. Product of Galveston and Ball High, where Dom and Hal went to. So good for him. And Le'Veon Bell, come back at 31. He'll be 32 in February this month, in a couple weeks. I'm talking about like 10 days. He wants to play for the Steelers. They don't want him. Last played in 2021, 39 rushes, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 catches, 30 yards. You burned bridges in Pittsburgh. You think they really want you back? Honestly, Le'Veon Bell, you weren't good 2 years ago. You're not good now. So bye-bye. Yeah. Now, I don't know if this is true. Dov Kleiman put this up. A GM at the Senior Bowl said that Mike Vrabel's physical build and size could have played a part in him not getting a head coaching job per Rossini. I had a GM at the Senior Bowl who mentioned to me Mike Vrabel's physical build, that he's a very large human being, and that can be very intimidating to people. Get the fuck out of here. Really? Really? I mean, I saw that and I was like, come on, guys. That's horseshit, dude. Come on. Really? Yeah. Then these guys are pussies. If that's the fact, these guys are pussies. And Commanders fired. Bieniemy's gone. So they said Pittsburgh might be a good pickup for him. We'll see what happens there. They need to, and I love this from Kent State. So Kenny Burns is wearing a 1-11 and 133 in his hoodie, displaying Kent State's record. And essentially they're raking out 133 teams from last year. Yeah. The intentional work is paying off. The season ain't come soon enough. I love that. I love that he's wearing 1-11 and 133. Like, guys, this isn't working. That's a guy I want to keep an eye on. Kenny Burns, you the man. And NCAA revenues rose to $1.28 billion. and more than half of which was distributed back to D1 members. So this morning, Bill O'Brien's supposed to be the Ohio State's offensive coordinator. Well, BC needs a new head coach because their head coach is now Jeff Hafley is now an assistant with the defensive coordinator for the Packers. So I didn't see anything. Did Bill O'Brien get Bill O'Brien? Let me see. Bill O'Brien. They said it was supposed to happen today. Oh, he's did not happen yet. Yeah, so he still hasn't taken the job. Yes, it's still not a done job. So Bill O'Brien. No, but it could be done. It's not done, but it could be done. So this was today. No, this was a couple days ago. This is yesterday. So it still hasn't happened. We'll see. And former Pats defensive play caller Steve Belichick is now. I saw this. I saw Rob put it up too. Is now the defensive coordinator for the Washington Huskies. Yeah, Washington Huskies. I like that. I was like, all right, good, nice. And breaking this, I saw this. Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer are being accused of tampering with Arizona star quarterback Noah Fafita. You know, they had a good season. His dad has now revealed that Alabama reached out to them despite Noah never entering the portal. We had 3 schools reach out for sure. Alabama is the only one we were really interested outside Arizona in staying, and obviously Washington. Oh, this all went around a week after DeBoer was hired by Alabama, which is illegal. According to NCAA rules, coaches not allowed to contact athletes who are not in the portal. Following push by top donors, which means you got a lot of shekels. This alleged interaction is still considered tampering, with the NCAA beginning to crack down on programs. There could be more to come. We'll see if that happens. Thank you, Bro Bible, The Athletic. And Caleb Williams said, Lincoln Riley said on the Pat McAfee show that he would walk on at Oklahoma. That's how much he wanted to go there. You also have the UFL, which is the United Football League, the merge. First game Saturday, March 30th. The respective champions of the USFL and the XFL, Birmingham Stallions and Arlington Renegades, 1 p.m. on Fox. I know we're all excited. Fox will carry 21 of the 43 games in this year's slate, including the championship game on June 16th. Conference postseason will be conference championship games Saturday, June 8th. Saturday, June 8th and Sunday, June 9th, and the championship game is on the 16th. Yeah, Bobby Witt Jr. He is the 23-year-old first player in MLB history to record 30 home runs, 10 triples, and 45 stolen bases in one season. 11 years, $2.8 million. They attempt to build a new team and a new stadium with him at center. Yeah. The contract will allow opt-out 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th years. Also includes a club auction for the 11th through the 11th season that will tack on 3 seasons to $89 million to the contract, bringing it to 14 years and $377 million. Last year, 276, 30 home runs, 49 RBIs, 49 stolen bases, while playing Gold Glove caliber defense. Shortstop. I agree, Josh. Stud. Love him. I think it's a great. I love it. I think it's awesome. Yeah. They could have traded him, but that's a good. I like that and his dad is his agent, so dad knows the deal. And the Yankees got lefty Caleb Ferguson, so they gave up. They acquired him from the Dodgers in exchange for Matt Gage, who they just picked up, and right-hand pitcher Christian Zezweta, who Yankees recaps thinks it's a great trade. Second left-handed reliever the Yankees have acquired for the Dodgers, including Victor Gonzalez. They'll replace Wendy Peralta. Good for them. Okay. We'll see what happens, right? Yeah. So, and Aaron Boone's reaction to the Orioles trading for Corbin Burns, that could be a bit of a problem. And Joe Girardi will be analyst for the Yes Network in 2024 per Jack Curry. The 2023 Atlanta Braves were the first team in MLB history to have at least 200 total bases on 0-2 pitches. Thank you, Codified Baseball. How about Nolan Ryan? 75-year-old Nolan Ryan hitting 87 miles per hour on the ceremonial first pitch. 75-year-old, and I watched it. I would not fuck with him. And Leo DeVries for the Padres has signed it with Adidas for a multi-year shoe deal. He has is unprecedented for a player yet to make his MLB debut. So Corbin Burns' record versus the AL teams: 27 games, 23 starts, 12-2 with a 2.56 ERA, 178 opponent batting average, and 178 Ks in 151 innings. Now the thing is, from JJ Cooper, they have a farm system to make another trade just as significant as the Burns one, if they so choose. They traded their number 6, number 7 prospects, very good prospects, and one who the team can trade for what can be described as surplus. They have the top farm system in baseball. JJ Cooper says no matter who all is in this trade, the gap is so big that they likely will still have the best farm team in baseball. And they have Jackson Holiday, who's coming up. Yeah, I'm nervous. And Ozzie Guillen in a press conference on Yasiel Puig says he has more talent than 70% of the players from the major leagues and 90% more of a drama off the field. So talent doesn't help you. I mean, if you're a headache for a team, teams don't want headaches. And Jim Leyland's Hall of Fame plaque will feature no logo on his cap. And they have the pitchers with over 2,000 innings pitch and a 3.00 FIP, which is fielding independent pitching, which it works like the more common ERA, but FIP aims to measure what a pitcher's ERA should look like if he were to experience league average results on balls in play. So the only guy that's in front of Kershaw is Sandy Koufax. So the top 6 are Koufax, Kershaw, Gibson, Pedro Martinez, Dean Chance, and Nolan Ryan. Koufax, Gibson, Martinez, and Ryan are all in the Hall of Fame. And Kershaw is not eligible yet. I don't know why. Dean Chance, yeah. And Walker Buehler is going to be shut down. They don't want him to go over 175 innings this year, so we'll see what happens. Dana White called John Jones a scumbag in messages with Lorenzo Fertitta. He has done a lot of shit and he also wants money. He's made more money than his 2 brothers have made in the NFL combined. Has to say something. And Lewis Hamilton signs he's going to get, I think it's $100 million. Could be worth up to $1 billion when he joins Ferrari in 2025. Yeah, crazy. So SoFi Stadium for the 2026 World Cup, grass, more spaces in the corners. FIFA is going to get one of the U.S. national team's game. And Mbappe is going to join Real Madrid when his contract with PSG ends this summer. Good for him. That's what I'd say. Good for him. Yeah, good for him. Christian McCaffrey had a Knicks fiance, Olivia Culpo, paying for a Super Bowl suite for his family. Why? Who gives a shit? She tried to, well, not let anybody pay to watch me play. I had to nix that. Yeah, his mom said she was unable to secure a suite. Yeah, his mom said he couldn't afford it. Yeah. I'll tell you that right now. So they're not, yeah. Oh, she got a reserved area to watch her son play. So good for her. That's fantastic. Oh, what did he send me? What? A little embarrassing, but we completely forgot about Tebow's wedding anniversary this year for the first time since 2020. I finally had the sex with my wife. God was there. February, what? God said I was there for the wedding ceremony, stuck around for some dancing and beers, just being real, was in and out during the sex. Hard to watch, my man, like a sea turtle trying to get up on a raft. And that face, stop with that face, Tim. Jesus, damn, man. Oof. People are brutal. Brutal. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, the new streaming company is set to launch in fall 2024. The direct-to-consumer platform is expected to have all major sports leagues. You can bundle with Hulu, Disney, and Max. You'll be able to watch NFL, UFL, NBA, WNBA, MLB, NHL, college sports, NCAA men's and women's basketball, the college football playoff, golf, Grand Slam tennis, cycling, soccer. It should be great. Wonder how much that's going to be. You can bundle it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, it's the new world. So another thing I've learned from the Michigan lawsuit and this Tennessee situation is that relying on home cooking from judges is probably not a great strategy. these people are probably not as inclined to put their credibility on the line for the home team as we think. All right, see what happens on that front. Did I miss anything else today? Let me see. Patino says college basketball needs a salary cap. Hawks are going to host the Winter Classic at Wrigley. Oh, I like that. Tony says, I never attacked the Chiefs in a rant. Kershaw comes back to the return for the Dodgers. Probably signed a 1-year deal, I think. Yeah, I guess. Okay, yeah. Guess they're going to wait. Las Vegas mayor. Yeah, there. He says it's not the time to talk about retirement. I don't know why he retired. I mean, he can ride the wave with Mahomes for a long time. Kettle Whistle Radio has joined us. I've been on your show. David, I love your show. Love it. They'll play the St. Louis Blues, Wrigley Field. The NHL previously held the second Winter Classic at Wrigley Field in 2009, Blackhawks and Red Wings. Cool. And Blues last appeared in the 2022 Winter Classic at Target Field against the Minnesota Wild. Chicago Sun-Times were first reported. All right. I've been talking way too long. All right, let me get to some trivia questions. All right, last show trivia question was, name the first NHL commissioner. Can you name me the first NHL commissioner? Name me the first NHL commissioner. Guys, right now. Come on. First NHL commissioner. Can you guys name it? David, who's the first NHL commissioner? Jose, first NHL commissioner. Can you name it? Guys, anybody have an answer? Anybody have a guess? Anybody? I guess they're leaving or they're too busy right now. All right, because I thought this was I thought this was a great trivia question. Al Arbor is all that matters, and he was not. We needed our sports fix. Thank you. All right, yeah. Yes. Jose got it correct. There has been only one NHL commissioner, Gary Bettman. Nice going, Jose. He is the only commissioner since 93. Okay, today's trivia question. Can you tell me the two quarterbacks tied for the fewest career wins? Two quarterbacks, Hall of Fame quarterbacks, have 0 playoff wins. There are two quarterbacks in the NFL Hall of Fame with 0 playoff wins. Can you tell me who these quarterbacks were? You will never, ever get this. So two quarterbacks that are in the Hall of Fame. There was a third, but he was more of a halfback running back. These two guys are way before our time. But I will tell you, one of the quarterbacks, it's one of the quarterbacks played, let me see. Hold on a second. Yes, one of the quarterbacks played for one of the local teams. Let's see, okay. Let's see. Yeah, yes. But both of them played in what is now the NFC East. So both quarterbacks, Hall of Fame, 0 playoff wins. Two quarterbacks never won a playoff game are in the Hall of Fame. Fran Tarkenton, good answer, but no. I will give you 3 guesses. Both played in the NFC East. Yes, this is way before even my time. Even Bumbles. Yes, that is today's trivia question. I don't think any of you will get it, but both quarterbacks played in what is now considered the NFC East, and way before my time. Well, before my time. One of them way before, one before my time. So, but yeah, those are the two today. Yeah, Jose, you got Bettman, man. That's worth the price of admission. All right, guys. So I gotta go because I think Michigan is coming home soon, and I got to get this done before Michigan. Actually, she's not coming home now. So, but I've talked enough. I have had some coughing fits, a little under the weather, a lot under the weather. So everybody have a great day. Jose, thank you. And who else was on? Oh yeah, Kettle Whistle Radio was on today. Yeah, Kettle Whistle Radio was here today. We had some people today. Who else came on today? Joe Willie was on today. And let me see. And Jose and Josh, Rob, Aaron, we were missed. But and thanks for the stuff today about the new sports, the new streaming services, which will cost a shitload of money. Go Knicks tonight. OG, I hope we get some definitive answers on him. Grimes, supposedly the Rockets had a trade request that was, we don't know what they were asking, and Heem's out with an knee injury. But Knicks get the win tonight against the Grizz. Let's make it happen. UNC beat Clemson. Everybody, great day. Peace out. And I will talk to you all very, very soon. All right. Have a great night. Adios. Later, Gators.